Today we're taking a closer look at the cold air intake Fenderwell system with the tune required for the 2015 to 2017 Mustang GTs. This intake is a great option for Mustang owners looking to maximize airflow, reduce intake temperatures, and unlock real performance gains with that required tune. The standout feature of this system is its Fenderwell mounted design, which relocates the air filter outside of the hot engine bay and down into the fender well. By pulling in cooler, denser air from the fender area, the engine is able to achieve more efficient combustion. This setup is ideal for performance enthusiasts because it offers significant horsepower and torque gains when you pair with that proper tune. The intake system includes this massive oversized tubing, which drastically reduces restriction compared to the factory intake setup. They significantly engineered this system for high volume airflow, significantly increasing the intake volume and significantly smoother delivery into that throttle body. The large tubing also contributes to faster throttle response and improved mid to high RPM performance, making it ideal for aggressive street use and track use. This kit requires a tune because of the substantial change in the airflow dynamics. The housing is designed to work with the recalibrated MAF transfer functions, which the custom tune is going to address. Without the tune, the ECU won't be able to properly compensate for that new increased airflow, so tuning is necessary and a performance critical step to this setup. The included high flow air filter is located in that fender well, where it's shielded from heat and splashing while still drawing a steady supply of air. You're also going to get a nice enhanced induction sound with an aggressive whistling type sound during that acceleration that adds a nice performance feel and touch to the car. This system is built from high quality, large diameter tubing and reinforced couplers. The components are finished in black for a stealthy factory-like appearance while also helping it be corrosion resistant. The filter element is reusable and designed to last through multiple cleanings. The mounting hardware is very robust and the overall fit and finish is going to be engineered for long-term durability and reliable performance under demanding conditions. As far as the pricing goes, this kit comes in right around that $500 price range, giving the substantial performance gains, the quality of materials, and the overall design that supports tuning upgrades. This is a smart investment for GT owners looking for better performance out of their car. Installation is going to be slightly involved since you're moving the location of the intake, so it's getting rated a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and you can expect the install to take about 2 hours to get the job done. Now let's head on out to the shop, and they're going to give you a detailed walkthrough of exactly how this install process goes.
For this install, you need a 3/8 ratchet, extension, 10, 8, 7, and T15 socket, 11mm wrench, 3/16 Allen wrench, diagonal cutters, Phillips head screwdriver, and a clip removal tool. All right, today we're gonna be installing an intake on our Mustang. First, we're gonna watch a couple videos, one to uninstall a stock intake, and then another one to uninstall the front bumper. Because this is a Fenderwell intake, we're just gonna need to install a couple brackets down there. So let's watch these videos and we'll come back to install the new one.
So the first step to our install here, we're gonna need the trim panel removal tool. We're gonna go ahead and remove this plastic radiator cover here. There's a bunch of push pins that hold it in, and then we'll remove some hardware underneath. Now with all those out of the way, we can go ahead and remove that cover. And with that out of the way, you can see these 8mm bolts right here. There's 6 of them. We're gonna remove those as well. Now there is one thing you don't want to miss while we're up here. It's right underneath of this weather stripping. Phillips head screw, one on either side right in front of the headlight. So that's all the work we're going to do on the top for now. We're gonna move underneath. We're gonna get rid of this splash guard, but first we need to disconnect it from this wheel well liner, held on by a couple of push pins. There is one right here that's a little bit tough to see. You can see the back of it right there, and then we're gonna hit the last one right here. Now we can actually remove the hardware holding on the splash guard. It's a bunch of 7mm bolts underneath here all along this leading edge. There's 2 right here in the middle and then 4 across the back. We're gonna get those all out of here. And with those 4 in the back removed, you can go ahead and slide this back just a hair. That should drop right away from the Mustang. Now we can go ahead and unplug our fog lights and turn signals. There's 1 plug down here for the fog light, and then 2 up at the top for the turn signal. And then we can hit the same thing for the other side. Now the next thing we're gonna remove is a little bolt here behind this fender. I do believe this is the hardest part of the uninstall, but it's really not even that bad, just requires a little bit of extra work. It's basically gonna run from the fender and into the bumper to secure these 2 together. The easiest way that I've found to get at this is that you could pop a couple clips in the fender liner if you need to. I'm just gonna peel this back a little bit, and I'm gonna hold that there like that while we come in here with the ratchet to get that out. And there's the bolt, runs through just like that. Now with that removed, we can go ahead and grab this lip here, and that bumper is just gonna pop right out, and you can clearly see that screw is gonna go right there, and it basically hooks into this little hoop part of the bumper, which is broken on ours, but there's no need to break that on yours. Just get that screw out of there, pop that out, you're good to go. So now this bumper is ready to come off. All we're gonna do is push up to release it, and we're gonna pull it right off of our Mustang.
First up for the uninstall, we're gonna get our engine cover out of the way. Now, if you guys have a strut tower brace installed, you're gonna remove that. That'll be 2 15mm bolts on each of the strut towers. From there, you'll be able to gain access to the engine cover, which you'll just pull straight up and set aside. Next step, let's disconnect our MAF sensor. That's located right here by our filter. Underneath, there's a little locking tab. You wanna pull straight back on that, pinch and disconnect. If you take a look at this red thing here, that's that locking tab. So just pull back on that, pinch the center, and it'll disconnect. All right, next step, let's do our hoses. Now we have our vacuum lines, our breather lines, and we have our sound tube. Now your sound tube may have a clamp here. As you can see, ours has seen better days, so we don't have the clamp anymore, so we're just gonna pull that guy off. Next to that, you'll see a couple of hoses. Those you'll pinch and pull back and they'll disconnect. The one underneath has a little gray release tab. which disconnects it. That's this thing here. You'll just push and pull back. And then finally on the side, do the same thing, pinch and disconnect. Now on your inner fender here, you'll see a 10mm bolt holding that on. So what we're gonna do is take a little extension along with a 10 socket and get that guy off. Next up, let's loosen up the clamp holding the tubing to our throttle body. Now that's gonna be a 7mm socket. Loosen this guy up and disconnect. All right, so we're gonna pull straight back on this guy to disconnect, and then you can lift up on the entire intake assembly and set it aside.
So now that we have everything apart, the first thing we're gonna do is relocate our coolant bottle. We just need to move it over a couple inches. We have a bracket for that. First thing we're gonna do is take our ratchet extension 10mm socket, and take our 2 factory bolts out. Now we have our relocation bracket. Now it's gonna go on like so. So it's gonna shift it over about 1 inch or so. We have our supplied Allen bolts with flat washers. Get those through with another flat washer and then our locking nut on the bottom. Do the same thing on the other side. We're gonna go ahead and grab our 3/16 Allen wrench and a 11mm wrench and go ahead and tighten these two down. Now we're just gonna put it back on our factory nuts here, get our factory bolts, and bolt this back down. Grab a ratchet extension, 10mm socket. So now over here on our driver's side, we're gonna install our dust shield. So we need to remove a couple push clips to move our mass airflow sensor wire around, and then remove a couple push clips to help install that. So let's do that now. All right, so we're gonna come here and remove a couple push clips. So we have the one up here, grab our clip and rule tool, pop that off, and then our one right here. That's just gonna allow our mass airflow sensor to get down to where our air filter will be. Now we have this one that's gonna hold your main harness down here, remove that. So we have our dust cover here, that's gonna line up. We have our bottom push clip that we removed. We're gonna install our supplied one. And then we have our top one here, it's actually gonna come up through the bottom and secure like that. So since we have our performance pack here on our Mustang, we need to rotate our horns. So I'm gonna grab my ratchet extension 8mm socket, take this bolt out. All right, so we're gonna see this hook that's on our bracket. We need our horns to sit kind of like so. So I'm gonna take a pair of diagonal cutters or pliers, bend this away. Go ahead, grab our bolt that we took out and thread that back into our nut clip. Grab our ratchet extension 8mm socket, tighten that back down. So here we have our intake tube that's gonna go to our throttle body. You see I have our coupler on there. I have our 2 clamps just set on the side for right now. First we just need to put our adapters on. So we have our one with our hose and our extension. That's gonna thread in the bottom here. Simply just twist that on, tighten that down. Now that's gonna be angled basically towards the passenger side of the car, so it's gonna sit like that. And then we have 2 of our other adapters, a larger and a smaller, so you can't mix them up. Just thread them in by hand, tighten them down. Go ahead and grab our clamps for our coupler. Now these are the 2 smallest clamps that we have, so you can't mix them up. And go ahead and get this over our throttle body. We're gonna get our coupler over. Let's let that rest there for now. We have our hose that goes over the top here that's gonna go into the one with the extension. So you can see our clip is broken there, so there's no locking tab. No big deal, you would have yours that would just clip on. And then we have our 2 on the side here. Smaller one's gonna go to our smaller port. And then our vent tube from our valve cover on the top one. So here you see the 2 connections that we just put on. We have our tube here that's for our sound tube. Now we're just gonna slide that over. Now you see ours is broken on the end, that's no big deal. It's just a sound tube, but we're gonna grab a flathead screwdriver and tighten our clamp down. Now if you wanted to, they do have a cap where you can delete this whole tube. We're not gonna do that right now, but you just put this cap on over the intake here. So now we're going to get our intake tube fed up through our front fender well here. Now we have our PMAS logo that's going to go towards our throttle body. Get this up through our dust shield. Just got to twist around, get the right angle for everything. Get this up, and we can go ahead and get our coupler attached under the hood. Now, since this is our performance package, we're going to be putting our larger coupler up top here. So I have 2 of our clamps already set over. Just going to get this on. No, it might be a little bit of a challenge just because how big it is and the angle of the pipe. But you can always do that, slide it back down. Get this fish back up. We're going to leave everything loose for now until we get everything secured down at the bottom. All right, so before we can get our new air filter on, you'll see that there is a mass airflow sensor spot. We're going to take ours off our factory intake and swap it over. I have my ratchet with a T15 socket. We're going to take our 2 screws out. We'll take that out, swap it over. It's only going to go in one way. And we have our supplied Phillips head screws. Grab our screwdriver, tighten those down. Now that we have this swapped over, we have our smaller coupler. We're going to get that over our air filter. Get that slid over. We're going to go get that over our intake tube. So as you can see, I put 2 of our clamps already over. We're going to get our mass airflow sensor plugged in. Secure that on, secure a locking tab, and then we can go ahead and get this over our intake tube. Now it is a very tight coupler, so it may take a little bit of effort. But just take your time and walk it on. Need to, I'm just going to use a little screwdriver just to get this spread out. All right, so now that our filter is on, we can adjust our clamps to where they need to be. Our mass airflow sensor is basically facing back of the vehicle. Grab our ratchet, extension 8mm socket, tighten our 2 clamps down. So we're gonna come up in our engine bay now and start by tightening our throttle body down first, working our way outwards. So we'll grab our ratchet, extension 8mm socket, tighten these down. And then our last 2 on our bigger coupler, same thing, ratchet and 8mm socket. Now we can get our engine cover back on. Just line up our 4 tabs, push them down. So now we're ready to get our bumper back on. We'll get this set in place. Just get this over our front end here. Now we're gonna peel back our bumper a little bit, plug in all 3 of our connectors for our lights. We're gonna come back behind our bumper here, plug in all 3 connectors on either side. Up here. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other side and then get your bumper in place. So we're gonna get our bumper secured on the side here in our tabs. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. We'll get everything secured up top, then go underneath. So across the top here, we're gonna reinstall all of our 8mm bolts and our 2 Phillips head screws. So we have a Phillips head on either side. Tighten those down. And grab a ratchet, 8mm socket, and put our bolts in going across. So underneath here, we're gonna reinstall all of our 7mm screws and push clips. So we grab a ratchet and socket and tighten these down. And now we have 1 push clip on either side. Get that installed. So on either side, we have 2 more push clips, 1 underneath and 1 at the bottom of our fender liner. We'll get those installed. These are replacement push clips, so they don't fit that great. We'll get them in. All right, so now here in the wheel liner is where you would come up and reinstall your bolt that goes straight down into our bracket. Ours is broken and missing, so we don't have that, but you make sure you grab your ratchet and socket, tighten that down. Reinstall our wheel liner, and then reinstall the 2 push clips that we have left, 1 down here, and then 1 sunk in up here. Go ahead and repeat the same thing on the other side for all these push clips and that top bolt, and we'll drop the car down all the way. Last thing we need to do is just put our rad cover back in, to line that up and reinstall all of our push clips going across. And that wraps up our install of our cold air intake Fenderwell system, tune required, for our 2015 to 17 Mustang GT. And remember, for everything Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.